Spider-Man thought he saved Earth, but the symbiote had other plans. Venom didn't want Peter anymore. It wanted someone stronger. And when it touched Superman, the Man of Steel wasn't himself. A hero became a threat, and Earth's final battle had begun. The pod hit Earth like a black comet, crashing into the Atlantic with a hiss that split the waves. Satellite systems glitched for 30 seconds. Most dismissed it as solar interference. But one man didn't, and he swung straight into the storm. Spider-Man perched on a half-collapsed cargo ship, soaked to the bone, staring down into the still steaming crater on the deck. His spider sense wasn't buzzing. It was screaming. What emerged wasn't just alien, it was familiar. Black tendrils slithered across scorched steel. The symbiote. Not just any version, not like before. This one moved faster, reacted sharper, breathed hungrier. Peter backed up slowly. Nope. No. You were supposed to be gone, banished, dead. But Venom wasn't dead. It was reborn. Without hesitation, he shot a web with the canister and yanked it into a containment sphere he'd prepped years ago in Stark's old lab. He wasn't taking chances. This thing had nearly destroyed everything once. Eddie was gone, Flash too, and Peter had sworn it'd never come back. He didn't see the black strand that slithered across the webbing, or the way the containment sphere pulsed, like it recognized him. Back in Manhattan, he sealed it deep inside a Stark vault in Queens. And for the first 12 hours, everything was silent, until Superman showed up. A sonic boom shattered the calm as the Man of Steel hovered outside the bunker, arms crossed, eyes glowing with concern. Peter, there's an energy signature in this city that doesn't belong on Earth. Peter blinked. Since when do you patrol New York? Since something landed that registered higher than anything since Doomsday. Superman looked past him, straight into the vault. Peter stepped in front. It's contained. Trust me, it's not safe to even look at it. But Kal-El didn't stop. He moved forward slowly, X-ray vision activated, scanning layer by layer. Then, without a word, his eyes stopped glowing. His expression went blank. One heartbeat. Two. The vault exploded. Not in fire, not in sound, but in silence. Venom launched from the shattered sphere like a bullet, ignoring Peter completely, and slammed directly into Superman's chest. Peter screamed. No. For a moment, it looked like it bounced off. Then, the blackness began to spread. Across Superman's suit, his skin, into his eyes, his veins, like ink bleeding through steel. Peter webbed his wrist, yanking him back. Fight it, Clark. You're stronger than this. But Superman didn't fall. He floated higher. The black symbol spread across his chest, the familiar S twisted, warped, reborn. He turned toward Peter and smiled. That smile was wrong. Not evil, not fake, just free. You always feared it, Superman said, his voice deeper, layered. But I don't. Peter backed away. This isn't you. It's feeding on you. No, Superman said. It's showing me. He vanished. One sonic boom, and the roof tore off the facility. By the time Peter swung into Times Square, Superman was already airborne above the city, his cape black, the skies crackling beneath his presence. Drones captured everything. News channels went live. Every phone lit up. This wasn't Superman the Protector. This was Superman possessed. He didn't attack. He didn't destroy. He just hovered, watching. Then he spoke. To the world. For years I held back. For your sake. For your rules. Venom curled like armor around his arms, gleaming under lightning. But what have your rules brought? War, corruption, greed. You need something more. He pointed toward the horizon. You need peace, real peace, and I'll give it to you. Peter felt his heart drop. He tapped every communicator frequency left from the Avengers. No answer. Only one person buzzed in. Bruce. What the hell did you bring back, Peter? I didn't bring it for him. Peter shouted. It was locked down. Bruce's voice was cold. You didn't destroy it either. Suddenly, Peter's calm crackled. This is Diana. I see him. He's heading for Langley. The Justice League was moving. But they were already too late. Superman reached U.S. Intelligence HQ before they even launched their aircraft. He didn't kill anyone. He just walked through walls, melting surveillance, deleting black site files, disabling weapons, one by one, all while smiling. Peter reached the rooftop just as Batman's Batwing zoomed overhead. "You can't stop him like this," Peter yelled. "We're not trying to stop him," Bruce said. "We're trying to slow him down." But Peter knew. You didn't slow down a god fused with rage. Inside Langley, Superman hovered over the command center. An officer raised a pistol. Superman's eyes glowed. The pistol melted. So did the man's arm. Peter dove in through the ceiling, webbing Superman's face. It tore instantly. "Clark, listen to me," Peter yelled. "This thing wants to make you a killer." "I've been one," Superman whispered. "I just never admitted it." Venom pulsed. Superman's fists clenched. He turned and punched Spider-Man so hard, he flew through 5 walls, cracked a truck, and blacked out. Minutes later, Peter woke up choking on blood. The street was empty. Civilians were gone. Superman gone. And etched on the cracked wall above him was one message: cleanse, rebuild, protect. The world had a new mission statement, written by a god in black. Peter pulled himself up. The symbiote wasn't corrupting Clark. It was unlocking him, and that was so much worse. The skies didn't look the same anymore. They shimmered like glass stretched thin. The clouds didn't drift. They pulsed, reacting to the silent hum blanketing the earth, a hum coming from him. Superman wasn't flying. He was hovering across cities like a shadow, scanning every structure, every threat, every lie. And then he started removing them. Banks melted. Weapon labs crumbled. Secret bases, once hidden beneath continents, were pulled into sunlight and crushed like toys. He moved like judgment, silent and absolute. And with every move, the symbiote tightened its grip, not with chains, but with belief. To the world, it looked like justice. To Peter, it looked like apocalypse. Peter watched the footage from an abandoned S.H.I.E.L.D. safe house. He was bruised, his ribs cracked, and his suit barely stitched. But his fingers were flying over Stark's neural interface tech. Old files, memory resonance schematics, Kryptonian psychology logs from Batman's archives. Anything that might make Clark remember himself. Behind him, the power buzzed. The Stark Vault containment tube, the one that failed, still held trace symbiote particles. Not enough to fight, but maybe enough to understand. His comms crackled. "This is Diana. We engage at dawn." "No," Peter snapped. "You'll die at dawn. We have to try." Peter grabbed the mic. "You don't get it. He's not possessed. He's evolved. And he thinks he's saving us." There was silence on the other end. Then Bruce's voice, low, grim. "Then we show him what humanity looks like when it fights back." Dawn rose. The Justice League stood outside Geneva, the last place Kal-El had whispered into existence. He'd emptied it, not with violence, but with fear. World leaders had already fled. Now only Diana, Barry, John, and Bruce remained. And Peter, dragging his broken body across continents. Superman appeared mid-sky, draped in black, arms extended. "You shouldn't be here," he said calmly. Diana stepped forward. "Neither should you." Kal's gaze softened. "I wanted to spare you." John morphed into his larger Martian form. "You're not Kal-El anymore." "No," Superman whispered. "I'm what Kal-El should have become." The fight erupted instantly. Flash darted in first, a blur of light, but the symbiote predicted him. Black tendrils caught Barry mid-motion, slamming him into a fountain hard enough to shatter the marble. Martian Manhunter phased through Kal's back, aiming for his mind, but screamed the moment he made contact. The symbiote was sentient inside, alive, and burning. He fell to the ground, unconscious. Diana flew in, blade drawn. Superman caught it with 2 fingers. "It's not that I'm stronger," he said, eyes glowing. "It's that I'm no longer pretending." He twisted the blade into dust. She headbutt him, full Amazonian force. He didn't flinch. His voice still unervingly calm. "I still love you, Diana. But love is weakness." Peter arrived seconds too late, dropping onto the battlefield as smoke rose from shattered pavement. Batman was nowhere in sight, likely preparing something grim in the shadows. Peter's mask was torn, one eye cracked. "Clark," he shouted. "Stop." Superman turned. His eyes were cold. "You keep calling me Clark, because that's who you are." "No," the voice said, and this time there were two. One was Kal-El's, the other venomous, deeper, ancient. "I'm what Earth needs, what it deserves." Peter took a step forward. "You're afraid." Superman's smile returned. "I'm free." Peter shot a web, but Superman didn't even move. The web incinerated midair, atomized by raw heat vision. Peter's hands trembled. "Then why are you still holding back?" That made him stop. "You haven't killed anyone. You could have. You should have. But you didn't." The black suit rippled. "Because he's still in there," Peter continued. "The farm boy, the reporter, the one who flinched when Lois cried. I know him, and I know he's still fighting." Superman stepped down. The ground cracked beneath each footstep. Peter's heart pounded. "I didn't bring it here for you," he said quietly. "I brought it here to destroy it. You failed." "I know." Superman raised his hand. "Then let me finish what you couldn't." Peter braced for death, but Batman appeared behind Superman with a sonic disruptor fused to a kryptonite pulse. The blast struck dead center. For a heartbeat, the sky screamed. Superman dropped to one knee. The black tendrils recoiled, hissing, twitching like a wounded animal. For a flicker, his eyes turned blue again. Peter ran forward. "Clark, don't lose now. You're winning." But Superman roared, not in pain, but in fury. The symbiote rebounded harder than ever, shredding the weapon, throwing Batman across a courtyard. The light died from Kal's eyes. And when he rose again, something was different. His voice was no longer layered. It was fused. The Kal-El everyone knew was gone. Now he spoke with one voice, pure venom, pure conviction. No more compromises. He pointed at Spider-Man. "You had your chance." Peter fired everything he had, web bombs, electric pulses, EMP bursts. Nothing worked. Superman charged, faster than sound, faster than thought. Peter saw death coming, but Diana intercepted with a shield strike that split the sky. Superman staggered, only for a second, then sent her flying. Peter crawled to what was left of Bruce's device. It was melted, but the memory drive was intact. He shoved it into his own suit's neural port. It synced instantly, flickering with a blend of Kryptonian memories and Stark Tech echoes. Voices, smiles, Martha, Lois, Jonathan. It hurt to listen. Peter reached out again, dragging himself across scorched ground, and whispered into the storm, "Kal, please. You made me believe in heroes. Don't make me believe in monsters now." The wind stopped, just for a moment. Superman didn't answer, but he didn't strike either. He vanished into the sky, trailing black lightning in his wake. Peter collapsed beside the crater. Everything ached, but he wasn't done. He had seen the flicker. Somewhere inside that monster, Clark Kent was still fighting, and Peter Parker was going to save him, even if it killed him. The moon shattered first, not with an explosion, but a silent, perfect fracture. Half of it simply broke off and drifted into space, weightless debris glowing in orbit like ancient scars. Superman did it to make a point. No more secrets on the dark side. No more hiding. He wasn't a protector anymore. He was an architect, a god sculpting Earth into his version of peace, with the symbiote whispering at every breath. The Justice League had no headquarters now. The Hall of Justice was melted into glass. Atlantis was boiling. Themyscira? Evacuated. Every stronghold was already gone. What remained wasn't a league. It was a resistance. And even that was crumbling. Peter stood alone in what used to be the Batcave, now submerged in 30 feet of water and shadow. The power flickered. The backup generators ran off scavenged alien cores. Stark Tech was overloaded. Wayne Tech was dismantled. But Peter had one thing left: data, memories, holograms, neural echoes, Clark's childhood laugh, Lois whispering his name, Martha hugging him in the snow. These weren't weapons. They were reminders. Humanity encoded. And Peter was going to inject every last one into Kal-El's mind, using the one place even the symbiote couldn't fully lock out, dream space. He called it Project Redemption. It would be the most dangerous thing he'd ever built, a psychic needle into the mind of a god. But it needed power, too much power, Kryptonian level. He had to draw Superman in. He knew how. 3 hours later, the sky above Metropolis turned crimson. Superman hovered above the skyline, black cape thrashing like a storm flag. A booming voice echoed across the city through the clouds. Spider-Man, come. Peter landed on top of the Daily Planet, armor cracked, tech sparking, a projector strapped to his chest. I didn't bring you a fight, he said. I brought you the truth. Superman tilted his head. I see no truth, only a delay. You forgot who you were. Superman landed. Every footstep cracked concrete. I became who I was meant to be. Peter activated the device. 100 lights burst around them, holograms of Clark's life spinning like stars. Jonathan Kent lifting a boy into the sky. Clark's first day at the Daily Planet. Lois's smile when he proposed. Superman blinked. The symbiote pulsed. Stop it, Kal-El growled. This is manipulation. No, Peter said. This is memory. But the symbiote hissed. Reality bent. Every light flickered. And in their place, darker visions surged in. Famine, war, humans killing each other. Superman dragged through fire by the people he saved. They never deserved you, the Venom voice boomed. They feared you, even now. Superman roared and fired heat vision. It melted the entire skyline, glass pouring like lava. Peter dodged, barely alive. Then came the punch. It shattered 3 ribs. Peter tumbled down 20 stories, slamming into a crane, then bounced across rooftops like a rag doll. His world blurred. Blood filled his mouth. Everything screamed inside his skull. He looked up. Superman floated above him, fists clenched, face blank. Give up. I can't, Peter coughed. Because you wouldn't. Superman landed slowly. Peter triggered a final signal from his gauntlet. Every remaining member of the Justice League appeared at once. Weakened, bleeding, furious. Batman limping. Wonder Woman armor cracked. Flash staggering from a wound he couldn't heal. Cyborg missing an arm. Even Martian Manhunter returned, flickering with psychic scars. You won't destroy what's left of us, Diana said. You already lost, Superman replied, voice dead. You just haven't accepted it yet. Then everything exploded. Superman moved first, fast enough to punch Flash into a coma before he even blinked. He snapped Cyborg's backup generator with a glance. He caught Diana's sword mid-swing and used it to cut her shield in half. He burned the Batplane from the sky. Peter watched in horror, not because Superman was winning, but because he was holding back. He wasn't killing them. He was testing them. He wanted to see if there was anything left to stop him. There wasn't. Peter fired the last round of his neural sync cannon directly into Superman's chest. A final attempt. A final memory. A Christmas morning. A red cape. A boy with a cape too big, saving a plastic doll from under a couch, pretending to be Superman. Martha laughing. Look at you, she said. My little hero. The symbiote flinched. Superman stepped back. For the first time, he staggered. The sky warped. The black armor twitched. But then the new voice came. Not Kal-El. Not Venom. Something else. A fusion. A third being. Something born from the two. I am not Clark, it said. I am not Venom. I am Kal-Vem. The name echoed like thunder. The voice cracked the air. It wasn't corrupted. It was complete. Peter's heart froze. Superman had merged with the symbiote. There was no more conflict. No more struggle. Only one will. Kal-Vem turned to Peter. You gave me what I needed. Identity. He flew into the sky like a black meteor, and the stars dimmed. A new symbol flashed across the world's satellites. Not the S. Not the spider. A spiral. A new empire. Peter collapsed on the rooftop. He looked up at the sky. We lost. but his fingers still twitched toward the final failsafe embedded in his suit. Because losing wasn't the end. Not yet. Inside the hidden vault beneath the ruins of Wakanda, Peter strapped himself into the Dream Core. Built from stolen star code, Kryptonian data crystals, and Martian telepathic tech, it was designed for one purpose: to enter a god's mind. Not to fight him, to find him. To find whatever was left of Clark Kent. Cal-Vem had gone silent for hours. No attacks, no threats, just a worldwide blackout. Every satellite hijacked, every nuclear silo dismantled, every weapon turned to ash. The world wasn't resisting anymore, it was surrendering. And Peter knew that if he waited any longer, there wouldn't be a Clark left to save. He locked in the final neural sequence and pulled the switch. His body slumped, his mind dropped, and suddenly, Peter Parker stood in a wheat field under a golden sky, Kansas. But it was wrong. The sun didn't shine. It pulsed, black veins swirling across its surface. The wind didn't blow. It whispered. The barn stood crooked, the Kent house half-burned. And in the center of the field sat a boy, Clark, barefoot, crying, wearing a torn cape too big for his shoulders. Peter stepped forward. Clark. The boy didn't look up. I broke it. What? He pointed to the sun. I tried to fix everything. Now I don't know who I am. Peter knelt. You're the kid who saved a cat from a tree, who pulled a truck from a frozen lake, who believed everyone deserved a second chance. The boy's eyes turned black, even the ones who wanted me dead. The field cracked. Darkness poured in. Peter backed away as the wheat withered and the sky bled. The boy grew taller. His voice deepened. I saw what Earth really is. The fear, the corruption, the lies. You all wanted a god, but hated when I acted like one. Cal-Vem stood before him now, massive, armored, perfect. I gave them peace. Peter shook his head. You gave them fear. Cal-Vem's voice shattered the sky. Fear is order. Peter stood his ground. Then why are you still hiding here? The world froze. Silence. Peter stepped closer. Why is this memory still alive? Why haven't you erased it? Cal-Vem blinked. Peter pointed to the broken house. Because a part of you still misses this. The boy, the farm, the love. You didn't destroy Clark, you buried him. He reached out, hand trembling. Let me dig him out. The symbiote pulsed violently. The sky exploded in streaks of black lightning. Cal-Vem screamed. Peter's body burned. His skin cracked inside the dream. But he didn't move. He didn't run. He whispered one name. Lois. The air shattered. And from the light, she appeared. Not real. A projection. A perfect echo pulled from Cal's own mind. She walked barefoot across the scorched wheat, smiling gently. Clark, she said. Cal-Vem staggered. He dropped to one knee. No. She touched his face. Come home. The black armor cracked. Cal-Vem's breath caught. His voice broke. I'm tired. Peter moved quickly, slamming the neural spike deep into the dream. Then wake up. A white explosion burst from the center of the memory, and the scream that followed shook the world. Peter's body convulsed in the real world. Lights exploded. The dream core melted, and high above Earth, Cal-Vem fell from the sky, crashing into the ocean with the force of a dying star. The ocean boiled for 3 days. No one went near it. Not the military, not the League, not even Peter. Satellites showed a crater 5 miles wide where Cal-Vem had crashed. Every hour, the water would rise, then fall, as if something beneath it was still breathing. Peter waited on a cliff above the Atlantic, his suit damaged beyond repair. The neural link that almost killed him was gone, and yet the echo of that dream still haunted him. Clark had whispered, I'm tired. But the symbiote never slept, and on the 4th day, the sky cracked. A single beam of black light shot from the ocean, splitting the clouds. Then he rose, not flying, floating. Superman's body, but changed. The suit now half blue, half black, pulsing between 2 symbols. The S flickered. The spiral twisted. His eyes glowed white. and around him, lightning danced like wolves in orbit. Peter stood tall. No backup, no plan, just hope. Clark hovered in silence. "I don't know who I am anymore," he finally said. Peter stepped forward. "That's okay. You can figure it out with us." "I can't go back." "Then don't," Peter said. "Go forward. Be something new. But be you." Superman looked down at his hands. One gloved and black, one bare and trembling. "You don't understand," he whispered. "I felt everything. I believed it." "You were trying to fix the world," Peter replied. "You just forgot it didn't need a god. It needed Clark." For a moment, the wind calmed. Then Cal's expression shifted. Pain twisted into fear. "It's not over." "What do you mean? I wasn't the only one it touched." Suddenly, the beam that had shot into the sky reversed. It pulled. Something massive, something monstrous, was coming down. The sky split open, and from beyond the atmosphere, a shape descended. Not a ship, a being, twisted, ancient, covered in the bones of devoured symbiotes. Its face was a mouth without end. Its body dripped black fire. The symbiotes had a god, and now it was here. Cal turned to Peter. "You need to leave." Peter clenched his fists. "Not happening." Cal's aura exploded in a wave of black and red, not rage. "Resolve." "I wasn't meant to be Earth's destroyer," he said. "Maybe I was meant to be its wall." He shot into the sky faster than sound, slamming into the god thing midair. The shockwave snapped clouds in half. Peter watched as two titans tore into each other across the upper atmosphere. Heat vision versus void fire. Fists versus tendrils the size of continents. Space cracked open. Moons dimmed. Oceans surged. And in the middle of it, Cal roared. Not in anger, in defiance. The final blow came when he grabbed the thing's skull, tore open his chest, and forced the last of the symbiote energy out of his own body, burning himself alive from the inside out. Then, with a whisper of Lois, he drove the god into the sun. The explosion could be seen from Jupiter. And then, silence. A body fell from orbit, wrapped in glowing red and black threads. It crashed into the earth, gently. Peter ran to the crater. Clark lay there, burned, alive. No armor, no cape, just a man. Peter knelt beside him. "You okay?" Clark smiled weakly. "You talk too much." Peter laughed, choking on relief. Above them, the sky began to clear. For the first time in weeks, the sun rose clean. And somewhere in the wind, a new name whispered itself into legend. Not Cal, not Superman, just Clark.